3 decades, that's 30 years, been in the industry for so long. Do you remember the very first day of your job?
Yeah, I distinctly remember. Even I remember the date because it was like 12th July 1990.
Okay.
And that was the first day I joined at a company called Excellent Electronics. So way back in, that time, the first day, I met one guy called Juicer Engineer. I remember this name. Uh, he tried to explain me that what is booting.
What is?
Booting.
Booting, okay.
Okay, the PC booting.
Right.
And I was confused, like what is booting, and it took me almost 3 to 4 days
To understand.
to understand what is booting, what is making that PC available, and that was the kind of information which we had.
Right.
So he taught me what is booting, what is component goes into, how you assemble a PC, because back then there was nothing was like branded. Everything was assembled.
True.
So how do you assemble? And I started with assembling motherboards, not even PCs.
Okay.
Okay, so we used to do normal soldering and make the motherboards.
Right.
Instead of those, now today everything is CNC and automated.
Automated.
Back
True.
then we used to do everything
Manually.
Okay.
But I'm sure that gave a lot of learning also into
Huge
understanding
amount
the
of
hardware.
learning, huge, because those things are never done before.
True.
And very few companies who not, I wouldn't say companies, but like individuals were doing this.
Right.
Okay, and manufacturing was like for the PCs or motherboards and all, was very not common into in India that
back
time.
in India, yeah, true. I think it was just the internet era was starting to start in India back then.
Yeah, even that time the internet was not. It was very far.
Yeah.
We never heard about it.
True.
Okay. That time the local era network was also is like something new, which is like how can a two PC and desktop can talk to each other.
True.
And it was like fancy to us, like and my director then, he was like pure techie guy, and he was like want to get something new. And it was like 1991, we heard something called LAN. So I didn't know what is LAN, and I asked him, what is LAN? He said local area network. I said, what is that? What does that mean? He said, I don't know. 3 months down the line, he gave me the entire set of software. He said, this is what is called LAN software, now install. Okay, it took us around 15 days to make that install and understand. Back then, no information available, no manuals available. Right. So you call up somebody, you understand something, you do something, and that is how the LAN setup was first, which we did.
So that was, I think, a major achievement for you back then, when a technology just hit the market and you're implementing it. True. So now, Sameer, you did your computer science back in 1990, and how informed were you about getting into the IT industry, and was there any sort of sensitization that you want to enter into the IT industry? What made you come into this?
Okay, it's a little funny, but I had after my completing my 10th, we started with diploma in computer technology, and then it was like we had a few choice. Either that time it was mechanical engineer, that was our 2 thing, and the 3rd thing came up, which was computer technology.
Right.
Okay, and apparently I got admission and we started. There was nothing, no thought process behind it, why I'm doing this.
So it just happened.
It just happened because there was no awareness. There was no like today you see that even you introducing one course, you are there is a whole lot of gaga over it, that what you do, how you do, what are the benefits. Back then there was no news, nothing.
True. And the options were also very limited.
Very limited. That's right. Either you do engineering, mechanical engineering, you do electrical engineering.
True.
Okay, and then they started electronics and other part which is, but then one of them stream was this computer technology, and we
And that was latest.
let us. So we just went into it, and to be very frank, my first interview was, they interviewed me for an hour or so for all other part of it, and last question was he's asked me that, Samir, what do you know about computers? So I said I know only 3 commands.
Okay, which was?
So it was like, I know only DOS, that is a disk operating system,
Right.
and I know only 2 commands, dir and cls.
Okay.
So that was like, we didn't have computers back in college. We had only 2, and like it was XT,
True.
and we were batch of 40. So you can imagine that, how the amount of access which we had that time. Yes, but yeah, whatever we had learning in terms of as a subject, yes, there was quite a few was like we had used it, but the real world was totally different.
Totally different.
Back then.
True. In fact, I remember when in '92, I was probably in my 4th standard, and that's when our school got in the computers and we learnt DOS.
Yes.
And we would draw triangles by putting in commands and draw circles. Circles was the most difficult thing to.
There was some small program called Turtle.
Absolutely. Now I remember.
Yeah, because I remember my daughter used to be, doing that.
Yes.
So
true.
they were been started teaching there back then in the schools.
Absolutely. Now, how was the IT industry in the years in which you started your career like? So you mentioned that you knew DOS, but then by the time you joined that place, what was the industry like already by then?
See, people were like aware of this, that what computer can do, but back then there was no lot of applications which are available. PC was available to the people. It was like very expensive commodity, but yes, people knew that we want to do some business on that. It will ease our lot of tasks. But today you have application for managing your meeting, you're managing your task, managing your every other activities which you do in this. Back then there was nothing like that.
For everything today.
Yeah.
True.
So even their Excel was like Lotus 1, 2, 3 that time.
Correct.
Okay. And it was like very native stage. Hardly any people knew. I remember there was a application, the software called WordStar.
Right.
Very difficult to operate. No UI, and everything was like command line.
Yeah, you had to remember commands, or you would have to have a printout of those commands and stuck on your board, and then do things. True.
So we used to have shortcut on the in front of us, and if you want to try and use that.
True, absolutely.
So
yeah.
So that one, like no big application which was there. I remember that we had all black and white computer monitors, and the color monitors, VGA monitor came into system, and the customer wanted to see that how does color look like, monitor look like, and what do we see there. Now one customer walked into our office and said, I want to see that how your color VGA looks like, display looks like on that. So we had nothing to show them. Ultimately, we showed him the Prince of Persia, the game which was there in color. Okay. That was only available with us that time. This is what you see in the color.
Was he happy, the customer?
Yeah, customer was happy because back then it was like, today you have a big BMW and Mercedes, a status symbol. Then it was having a computer as a status symbol.
Status symbol, absolutely. True.
Okay. But yes, people there was very limited options that time.
Correct. Absolutely. So, Samir, now in one of your stints, you were the lead architect and project manager for developing an infrastructure of 1.3 million square feet and a data center of 17,000 square feet. So, talking about DOS to this, it's a complete sea change, right?
Yes.
How easy or difficult was that for you?
See, the earlier days, even set in those things that you build things.
Right.
Okay? As I told you that we used to manufacture motherboards. I used to manufacture cabinets.
Okay.
Back then.
Right.
So designing was there in my genetics, you can say, as if you see my surname also. So those designing aspect and things which is there in that. I always fascinated to build things. Always, putting the best effort to make things. So one of the company which we had to have multiple offices across India. Okay, and it was a third-party BPO. So we had to build the data center with the very strict compliance with the industry standards, because the multinational companies wants to download their businesses with us, and they want to make sure that whatever the data center which we have are in line with their requirement, and they can sustain the business because they are offloading the business processes to us.
True.
Okay, and our project used to be like in Gurgaon, Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, and Nasik. Okay, so these are the places which we used to have those offices, and we used to get greenfield projects. So we used to get complete one pillars, and you build from the scratch. Okay, so everything which goes from whatever you decide goes in line with what is the business is projected, how big the server data center you should have, what are the processes which you will put in, what are the equipment you will put in. So everything goes in line with the industry standard which we had, and we ensure that we meet those standards, because that instills the confidence of our customer in that this company can deliver the things, and our infrastructures or our processes will serve to our customers.
True. But it must have been a humongous daunting task for you back
Yes,
then. Right?
very much.
I mean, just talking about the scale, 1.3 million square feet is huge.
Yeah, yes, it was multiple projects which we had.
Right.
Yeah, but yes, those time used to be 200,000 square feet and one office, and you build from the scratch 300,000 square feet of build office, and you build of a 9-story building. Okay, you ensure that every part of this building has been covered, so you don't have to do this IT infrastructure related activities, which will disturb your SLAs, because you will be disturbing the business.
Right.
Okay. No downtime. There were quite a few processes which we had which had penalties.
Right.
Okay, so if you violated SLAs, you have bound to have that kind of these things. So from the building, start from the we used to think from the entrance.
Right.
Even in the data center part, how my data center, where it will be located in the building. Okay. So we had to put in those kind of our own thought process and the standards, like guidelines which have been given. Those guidelines are given to our architect, that whenever you decide to build our offices for us, we are involved from the day one, and we ensure that our standards are met. Okay, and that was a priority for us. Okay, so any smallest mistake may have lead your downtime to the entire data center.
Right.
And that will have a huge impact on the business.
Absolutely. Now, in another feat that you've achieved is transitioning around 800 users without any downtime. So, from an operational perspective, can you share what went into achieving this? Like transitioning active users without any downtime into the new portal. How easy or difficult was that?
So that was task was difficult, but with the help of the team, we started with meeting our business users. What is their SLA to the customer? Okay, understanding their deliverables and ensuring that how I minimize their delivery impact.
Right.
Okay, there are processes which cannot go down for a minute.
True.
So we had to make an arrangement for them separately, that they are continue their work, and by the time we migrate to them to the different location. Okay, we did a thorough planning. With every team member who were part of it, they have put in their effort into saying that one PC which is getting picked up from this particular office, where it's going to fit there. Okay, even the small network switch we are picking up from this particular old office or from our old server room, how we are going to put in there and which location in the rack. Not even in the room, but in the particular rack, at what height you will be putting there. Okay, those mapping which was being done at minute level, and we could achieve that in 60 hours.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So target was like, we can do 3 days or 4 days, but we had a challenge that internally that we'll do that. So we did completed the entire thing in 60 hours. And it was like complete planning, complete rerunning that exercise of doing that. So every individual in my team had put in their task list.
True.
They were revised, and I ensured that they only run.
Interesting.
Okay. So end of the day, when the day came in to migrate, I said, you put all your project plans aside because you have done your task. Okay, you know which thing goes where and how you are going to manage that. So we put our project plan, no tick mark, no forms, nothing, and you start working. And ultimately, my job was to help them, like what food you are going to have today, and what things which you will be doing. So overall, like we completed the entire task in 60 hours, and there was a zero time business time. But overall, I would say it's a meticulous planning which you have to do.
Right.
Ensuring that your business, SLAs are being met.
True.
And that has to be in totally sync with them. What is their requirement? What is their commitment to the customer?
I think it personifies that saying very well. That if it takes 4 hours to cut a tree, you spend 3 hours in sharpening your axe,
Yes.
and the last hour to cut your tree.
Yes.
So I think it's personified.
So we had
very
3
well.
months of planning.
Right.
Everyone was working in terms of what their role is and what they are going to do. At the end of the day, we did not have to look at our project plan. Without anything, they completed the task.
True. Now, did you have any mentors early on in your career, or do you have any mentors now?
I would say I don't have any single mentor. I have every person which I met. I look into them and that what is the good part of it. Okay, I always, including it is like even if my junior guy, okay, maybe I pick up something from them.
Right.
Okay, definitely the seniors who I looked up to. So as a mentor, if I would ask me, I don't follow anybody, but yes, I follow my instincts. I follow myself and learn things.
True. So your learning mode is continuously on.
Yes.
I think that's the secret here.
Yeah. So learning, like you learn everything from the child, from the nature, from the person, whoever comes into. Like, so it is not you look at somebody and follow that. For me, I always thought, why should I follow one person and mold myself into that particular mold?
Right.
Either maybe right or wrong. I don't know if I'm following. So I need to be open to adapt to the what is coming at me, and what is positive about the person.
Right.
Adopt that. Maybe that has always helped me to improve myself.
Interesting. Well, thank you so much for sharing about your professional journey, and some of the things that you mentioned are really tremendous, and a lot of things that you've achieved in your career so far. Really commendable. Thank you for sharing about that.
Thank you.